Welcome to Becoming a Supported Internship Employer Ambassador training program. This program combines Part 1 and Part 2 with an allocated break in between. In order to complete this training, you must complete the quiz at the end of the program. We will start with Part 1. In order to complete this training, you will need to watch a variety of short videos. These videos can be accessed via QR code. You must therefore have a smartphone nearby to enable you to access them. You will also need to complete the quiz at the end of the video. As part of becoming a supported internship employer ambassador, we ask that you advocate for supported internships to be set up in your business, that you encourage other employers to set up or offer supported internship placements, that you engage with your local Send Employment forum where possible, that you visit local colleges or schools inviting local young people with Send to your business. You report any progress that you have made to us and publicise it on LinkedIn if you have an account. As we begin, we thought it would be useful to go over the concept of neurodiversity. Neurodiversity refers to the natural diversity in human brains. Neurodiversity is an umbrella term used to describe a number of these variations. It is estimated that around 1 in 7 people in the UK have some kind of neurodifference. Examples of neurodiversity are dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, ADHD, and autism spectrum condition. At the end of Part 1 of the training, you will understand what is a supported internship, why supported internships are necessary, and how to access resources and support as an employer ambassador. Let's start by watching a video, and during this video we want you to think about the impact and joy of doing things differently. In order to access this video, please take out your smartphone, open your camera app, and scan the QR code on the right hand side. The video you have just watched demonstrates how one small change to the infrastructure can transform an entire environment. Introducing wolves to the environment transformed the ecosystem of Yellowstone Park. A small change like introducing supported internships can transform workforce culture and lead to societal change. Public Health England have identified a variety of factors that contribute positively to an individual's health and well-being. One of the factors they identified of having a positive impact in adulthood was having a safe and secure job. This is just as important as mental well-being, exercising, a healthy diet, not smoking, and drinking moderately. Despite identifying that working is good for you, the proportion of adults with a learning disability known to their local authority in paid employment is a shocking 4.8%. The proportion is highest in the South East at 6.6% and lowest in the East Midlands at 3.1%. In addition to this, the proportion of males with a learning disability in paid employment is higher than the proportion of females. The median age of death for people with a profound or multiple learning disabilities is 40. For people with a severe learning disability, it's 57. For people with a moderate learning disability, 62. And people with a mild learning disability, 63. This compares to the median age of death for the general population, which is 82 for men and 85 for women. We will now explore some of the issues behind this shocking statistic. The Centre for Disease Control and Prevention have highlighted the impact of loneliness on an individual's health. They have said, social isolation significantly increased a person's risk of premature death from all causes, a risk that may rival those of smoking, obesity, and physical inactivity. Social isolation was associated with about a 50% increased risk of dementia. Poor social relationships was characterised with a 29% increased risk of heart disease and a 32% increased risk of a stroke. Loneliness was associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide. Notably, the Centre for Disease Control and Prevention also found that people with a learning disability are 7 times as likely as their non-disabled peers to be lonely. In a recent survey of people with a learning disability, MenCap found that 24% said they felt lonely a lot. This compares to just 3.4% of the general population who said they felt lonely often or always. We now invite you to watch the next video clip. Please take out your smartphone, open your camera app, and scan the QR code on the screen now. Getting a job is a good thing, but it's important we get the balance right. Being in good employment is protective of health. Conversely, unemployment contributes to poor health. Getting people into work is therefore of critical importance for reducing health inequalities. But insecure and poor quality employment is also associated with increased risks of poor physical and mental health. Getting people off benefits and into low-paid, insecure and health-damaging work is not a desirable option. We know that having a job has positive benefits to your health and mental well-being. However, a frequently asked question is that of how would being in employment help people with a learning disability to be more healthy? The World Health Organization state that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity, and that the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health is one of the fundamental rights of every human being, without distinction of race, religion, political belief, economic or social condition. Only 4.8% of people with a learning disability known to local authorities in the UK are employed. Over 1 million people are receiving SEN support in UK schools. There are 1.5 million people with a learning disability in the UK, about 900,000 are of working age. Around 350,000 have an EHC. 65% of people with a learning disability in the UK want to work. The UK has over 1.4 million unfilled vacancies. So, we now know that there are medical and well-being benefits to having a job. This includes boosting self-esteem, supporting social interaction, and fostering a sense of belonging and support. Despite these benefits, only 4.8% of adults with a learning disability are in employment. So now, we invite you to reflect on what you've learnt so far. As an employer, we would like you to think about what are you as an employer already doing well? What are the areas you would like to improve on? And who can enable those changes in your organisation? Let's ask ourselves, how many people are employed with an undiagnosed learning disability? How many people are employed with undiagnosed autism? How often do employers make adaptations to suit people's needs? How often do we adapt roles to play to people's strengths? How often do we find extra training for people who need a bit more support? How old are the negative stories about people with a learning disability or an autistic person? So now we know we need to improve employment outcomes for disabled people. But what is a supported internship and how does it help to break down barriers to employers? Supported internships are a structured work-based study program for 16 to 24-year-olds with SEND who have an education, health and care plan. The core aim of a supported internship study program is a substantial work placement facilitated by the support of an expert job coach. Supported internships are enrolled and supported by a learning provider, for example, a school or college, but spend most of their learning time in a workplace. Supported interns are in full-time education and their supported internship work placements are part of their course. There is no legal requirement or expectation that the supported intern will be paid. The supported internship should contribute to the long-term career goals of the young person and match their capabilities. Every young person is supported in the work placement by a trained job coach put in place by their education provider. The job coach provides in-work support that tapers off if appropriate, as the supported intern becomes familiar with the role. Job coaches also work with employers, increasing their confidence in employing individuals with additional needs and helping them to create and support a diverse workforce. You may be asking, who benefits from a supported internship? Well, we would like to invite you to watch the next selection of videos and find out. To watch the first video, please take out your smartphone, open the camera app and scan the QR code on the screen. Once again, we now invite you to watch the second video, so please take out your phones and scan the QR code on screen. Once again, we invite you to watch the third video, take out your phones and scan the QR code on screen. We now invite you to watch the fourth and final video in this section. Please take out your phones and scan the QR code on screen. We hope that selection of videos demonstrates that everybody benefits from a supported internship program. That concludes part 1 of the Employer Ambassador Training Program. We now invite you to press pause and take a 15-minute break before proceeding with part 2 of the training. Once you have completed watching part 2 of this program, you must complete the test at the end to qualify as a supported internship Employer Ambassador. Press pause now. Welcome to Becoming a Supported Internship Employer Ambassador Training, Part 2. By the end of this session, you will have developed an understanding of presenting the business case for supported internships, employer-to-employer engagement, access to resources and support, strategies to engage other employers including presenting at business events, developing your networking skills, and creating long-term relationships. Let's start with what are the benefits of offering supported internships in your business. Supported internships offers a positive progression route to employment for a group of talented people who are largely hidden to employers. Supports your diversity and inclusion practice because you will learn a great deal from your interns that will benefit everyone in your workplace. Demonstrates your responsiveness to neurodiverse people in your local community. And you get the support of teachers and job coaches to teach the young people learning in your workplace and support managers and mentors. Further benefits include the fact that you train interns to your standards, so if they move into employment with you, they are already trained. There is no obligation to employ people. Both the intern and the employer get time to decide if the match is a good fit. It also has significant impact on your business culture. Let's look at the benefits of employing people with a learning disability or autism spectrum condition, or both. Hidden talent pool. Over 70% of people with a learning disability want to work, but under 5% of those known to local authorities are in work. A loyal workforce. A MENCAP survey of 84 employers found that people with learning disabilities stay in their jobs on average 3.5 times longer than those without a learning disability. Let's look at further benefits. Great attendance. The MENCAP study found that people with a learning disability had no whole day absences, compared to 1 to 6 missed by matched non-disabled co-workers, and they were late only 3 times compared to 20 times for non-disabled comparators. Low cost. MENCAP also found from 2024 employee records that 65% noted the cost of employing people with a learning disability or autism spectrum conditions as cost neutral, and that the average cost of adaptations was £75 per person. We want you to watch this video and reflect on the practices shown here about building a movement together. A core part about being a leader and an employer ambassador is encouraging others. You are the first follower in your networks. Your role as a supported internship ambassador is to get other employers to host supported internships and employ interns. We want you to use your networks to spread the word. You will be able to encourage others by wearing your digital and real pin badge to promote the conversation, and being part of a network of people advocating for change, and by staying connected and up to date. There are a number of avenues and ways in which you can start the conversation and encourage others to take up supported internships. You could talk about supported internships to other groups through your networks, newsletters, business breakout sessions, and school and college visits. You could talk about supported internships to individuals with your friends, your family, and other employers. But what do we mean when we say inclusive recruitment? Let's unpack this. The UK government have said positive action applies to all protected characteristics, including disability, but it is important to note that it is not unlawful for an employer to treat a disabled person more favourably than a non-disabled person, for example, via the Guaranteed Interview Scheme. The Equality and Human Rights Commission have said it is not unlawful direct disability discrimination to treat a disabled person more favourably than a non-disabled person. This means that an employer, if they wish, can, for example, restrict recruitment, training and promotion to disabled people, and this will be lawful. Personnel today say there is a statutory duty under the Equality Act for employers to safeguard against discrimination on grounds of disability, which applies to existing employees and potential job applicants. View the recruitment process in its entirety, from advertising the position through to selection. At each stage, ensure that practices and policies do not discriminate against disabled applicants and consider any reasonable adjustments that may be required. Now we understand what inclusive recruitment means, we should reflect on: is your policy rigid or flexible? Questions to consider include: what is your approach to advertising? Can you restrict some roles to disabled people? Does everything have to be online? Can you use a range of selection methods? Can you vary your induction methods? Take a look at this illustration. It highlights what we're trying to achieve. Treating everybody equally doesn't mean everybody's included. What we are striving for is equity, so that everybody has the same chance to participate. So, can you help us get to inclusive practice across business? This is what you get from us. There's training, a PIN badge, access to the PowerPoint, badge for your email signature, links to films and videos, links to information, FAQ documents, and so much more. There are many benefits to agreeing to be an employer ambassador. These benefits include changing the life chances of young adults with a learning disability or autism spectrum condition, changing the life chances of their parents and carers, being part of something that is sustainable, opening up the eyes of businesses to an amazing hidden pool of talent, creating a legacy of positive change, better outcomes for the economy, and so much more. Thank you for watching Part 2 of the Employer Ambassador Training Programme. In order to successfully complete the training programme, you must now take part in a quiz. You can access the quiz by using your smartphone to scan the QR code on the left-hand side. Alternatively, you can type in the link on the right-hand side into your browser. Press pause now and access the quiz.